It's like when you come off stage, you're like, you get this total down. At least I would. You know, I'd be high on stage just naturally, and I'd come off stage and I'd just go looking for it again. So, anyways, that night I went looking for something, and I got something. And it was just too much for me to handle, and I OD'd. And then the second time was, like I said, on my birthday, and came home after the show. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I go into the bathroom and I act like I'm taking a shower, and then I OD again. And then my girlfriend, she had to bust the door open again that time, and as soon as I come out of it, like the paramedics are over me, and I see all these bright lights, and I come to, and then the paramedics are like, "What's wrong with you? You're stupid. Wake up. What's wrong with you? Why are you doing this to yourself?" And all I could think about was, I didn't think like, "Oh, wow, I'm glad I'm alive," this and that. I just couldn't believe it happened again. I was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening again." But anyway, so they take me to the hospital, they do what they have to do. And I got arrested while I'm in the hospital. The cops are like reading me my rights and this and that, and I'm like all handcuffed to the bed. And that's one thing that kept me anchored while I was in the band. That's why I could dabble, and I didn't like get really heavily into anything. I just had something to occupy my time with. I'd get high, but then I'd have stuff to do. Anybody that wants to do that stuff, trust me, it's not worth it. The whole like being sick and, oh God, feeling like you got bugs crawling under your skin. Before I left the band, this was the week right before everything hit the fan, and I got fired or whatever. I went into, it was Christmas Eve, 1993 or 94, whenever that was, and the week leading up to this incident, I was like totally out of control. I was like drinking a lot and dabbling with pills, and I did the hard stuff a little bit here and there, but I definitely didn't have like a habit, as some people think, there's like words spoken that I was a junkie, this and that definitely was not the case. So anyways, I was a real mess at that time, and I got talked into going into rehab for Christmas Eve, so I went into rehab on actually 2 days before Christmas. Anyways, on Christmas Eve, I get a Federal Express letter delivered to me in the rehab clinic, and I just gotten there, 2 days earlier, but I thought somebody sent me like a Christmas card. I was like, cool, here it is, I'm all alone, maybe somebody's thinking about me. Anyways, I open up the package, and it's a letter from my manager telling me I'm no longer needed in the band, we don't need you anymore, this and that, real professional. And I was like, geez, I'm here trying to get my, my stuff together, and you can't even wait until I get out to tell me what's going on. Plus, you got to do it to me on Christmas Eve, send this letter to me. So that's how I left the band. But anyways, a few days later, I think it was 2 days before New Year's Eve, that Brian came to visit me while I was in rehab. He told me, like, don't worry, we have like a couple of shows we got to play, but Jordy's, he's gonna fill in for you. We need to play these shows. We can't cancel them. They're already booked. So, you get your head together, and once you're good again, you can come back to the band and still play with us. Don't worry about it. So he didn't even have like the balls to tell me then that I was out of the band. So he never, I don't even think he ever even told me that I was out of the band. He just, like, the managers told me, and we never even really talked about it. Just, I don't know. I can't understand how Brian, like, he can condone drug use now, and he has like the big sign that says drugs, drugs, and he talks about drugs and writes songs about drugs and this and that, and like glamorize it, and this and that. When he saw what it did to me, and he'd cry to me every time I'd get into trouble with something, or I'd be like messing up, and he'd always like talk to me about it, and he always was just trying to save me and this and that, and he's like doing like the same thing now, and he's like, whether he's doing it for real or not, or if it's just like a publicity stunt, I don't know what he's doing for real, but I can't understand how he could condone that when he saw what it did to me, like, because people like that is one of the reasons I turned into what I did, because, it was all the rock stars and, actors and writers that were all messed up, decadent people that I was into that made me take that path. And he's probably turning millions of kids into, like, what I was, and I can't understand how he could do that. I don't know if he's, like, he forgot what I was about or what, but it's just, I don't understand how he can do that to the kids. I wouldn't want anybody to go through what I went through. Yeah, a lot of bands I see nowadays that, guys that the bands, these guys get involved with drugs, and like one member leaves, and they still stay tight. Like the Chili Peppers, for instance, that guy John that Frusciante that was in that band, they just got him back, and he was all messed up on drugs, you know, like years ago, and they still kept in contact with him, and, you know, he got back in the band. I just think that's what I always wanted a band to be, you know, like a brotherhood. I think you should be tight. Just because somebody, you know, has like a weakness and does something, you know, they shouldn't be doing, you know. It wasn't my fault that you know, I guess it was my fault that I took the wrong path, but you know, I had a sickness, you know, and I couldn't control myself, and I don't think I should be like hated for it or shunned or have them, you know, Brian and them turn their back on me. I just can't understand how we could be so tight and they could just do that to me. I didn't rip him off or do anything bad. I didn't like sleep with his girlfriend like he should hate me. And it's just like Brian and them, those guys, seems like they have no loyalty or like no, I mean, chivalry is dead. They're just, I don't know. It's one for one and like all for me, I guess. It's their attitude, it seems. It's sad because, you know, me and Brian were pretty tight, you know. That's the thing I miss the most about them days is like the whole, like, you know, not getting as much money as I should, this and that, being ripped off, whatever. That's neither here nor there, but I just miss the relationship we had because we were really tight, and it's like, and I was just stupid to throw all that away, you know, just because of I left the band, you know. After Manson, there was like I had to get a job, you know. I couldn't.